Alright, greetings everybody, hope you have a happy Thursday. Welcome to this particular Gen game. My name is Janglestorm. I'm going to be playing two games for you back to back. Later on I'll be doing Hardhead, but first of all I'll be doing this game, the only game in RETROTHON this year that's for the Atari Lynx. Namely the illustriously titled Gordo 106. And you probably wonder, what is this all about? Well, good news for you, there is some lore involved and they'll show it to you right away, so let's go into that. So, here we go. Deep in the bowels of N-Human Inc., trapped in cage number 106, Gordo, a poor, brutally exploited lab monkey, lives a life of lonely misery until... An experimental nuclear potion gives Gordo number 106 the cunning intellect he needs to free his friends and escape. So yeah, we get strong powers and subsequently we escape. We won't be rescuing our friends though because this is a speedrun, so just so you know. There we go, start the timer, wait for the title card to disappear, and there we go, we're off. Yeah, basically, we're Gordo 106, we're a dancing lab monkey, and this run is gonna be basically us dancing throughout the entire game. It's a lot of fun really that way, you can join along if you like. So first off we start off in the laboratory, where we escape from of course, and you have to avoid all kinds of things. This ain't no spoken is probably a good thing. So most of the time I'll be basically trying to dash as much as possible. You see me basically initiating this dash, which is basically achieved by double tapping on either the left or the right direction on your D-pad. It's a bit weird though, it doesn't always work as you think it would, so yeah, sometimes you walk and you try to double tap, you still keep walking, and the other way around, if you run, you know, things happen. So we pick up these bananas in order to keep ourselves healthy, which is always a good thing. Also just to prove that this game has a very low ceiling. And you also see these apples. Those fill the meter on the top right side of the screen, which is basically, well, your projectiles. So you throw apples at enemies, and that's pretty cool. So that was a very short stay at the lab. Now we are in this lobby, and there's a hunters convention going on, as you can see. There's like lots of, you know, hunters and search dogs and whatnot. I just took a death there. I got hit quite a few times. That's okay. And oftentimes, you know, there's safeties by just hanging from ceiling objects such as these chandeliers. For some reason this place has lots of chandeliers, it's pretty amazing. Yeah, Gordo's not gonna help any monkey friends, no, sad to say. It's not that animal friendly apparently, but yeah, that's a speedrun for you. Gordo and Explodo, yeah. Stuff happens if you die, rest assured there's gonna be more of that. I might show some more of that later if certain things don't happen. It might sound fake, but more of that later. But in the meantime, yeah, you have these very colorful enemies. In this case you have these guys wearing fezzes and they throw things in the air. I think those are cups. And of course everything is pretty deadly, so you have to sort of avoid that most of the time. And also some really hot jams, especially the bass in this is so good. Like, it just pops. It's just so good. Also, that one looks like a zombie for some reason. I don't know why. And yeah, the fun fact is, or fun fact, well, if you basically are done with a level, everyone else basically dies on screen. So, you know, Gordo is pretty powerful as it turns out. So in this level we have these blades that come out of these danger boxes, so you know, they say danger for a reason, because if you touch those blades even from the side, it's instant death. There's gonna be some instances of that throughout the game. This is not the only thing, don't worry. So in the meantime we just swing from here to this. Okay, that was pretty tense. How about the tense break? You can all join in, sour please, in chat. You know, just have fun. There you go. Turning this off. The circle blade, you can technically jump over, but it's really frame specific, and you might just as well turn it off instead. So just to keep it safe. Alright, new territory. We're now in a fashion center, because Inhuman, the evil professor that we have to defeat, also somehow has lent its name to a fashion center. I see all these people running around, and it looks very cool and everything. Yeah, Gordo's got the moves. Gordo's got some serious moves. Like the hat he's wearing. Yeah. I mean, it's really cool. Yeah. Also, well, mostly pretty big is these legs, these count chicken legs, I guess. Those are pretty deadly. If you get hit by those, then you'll die pretty quickly. So you have to be sort of careful. But if you set it up nicely, like I did just now, you can sort of make a pattern so you can keep on holding right and dash and everything. That's pretty cool. So if you can manage that, then there's not much to worry about. Okay, so level 3-3 does reverse things, literally. We just have to walk from right to left for some reason. I don't know why. It's also a pretty scary level if you play this casually for the first time, because there's lots of cages or lots of nets trying to catch you and all that. But yeah, with some damage boosting, this is totally fine. Oh, now for the best part though, perhaps. Level 4, this is a puppy farm. This is very cute. Well, I mean, puppies are cute. This puppy farm is probably not so cute, as music might spell out. There's also crushers and dudes with nets, and they're also pretty deadly. Everybody go, ah. See, I'm gonna take this safely because I'm nearly out of health. I have to be careful. These crushers also kill you if you hit them from the side, so I have to be somewhat careful with my placement here. So I try to stay on the middle of these platforms as much as possible. Again, once you know that, then it's sort of doable. Yeah, and you see some animals in cages. Like I said, we're not going to save them because, you know, it's a speedrun. So sorry, animals. And for some reason, we now have dudes who are throwing anvils at us, which is kind of odd. But I guess it exists. It's a puppy, yeah, something like that. And I know you have lots of questions. Why are there crushers at the puppy farm? I'm pretty sure it's self-explanatory somehow. So this game has been developed by a couple of by now pretty famous names, because some of the people who worked on this are David Brevik and the brothers Eric and Max Schaefer, who, as some people may know, have since worked on Diablo and some other things related to you know, the company Blizzard. So, you know, they started out here. Basically, they started out as a clip art company, and eventually were recruited to make a video game, which is what this game became. So they were sort of kind of throwing around ideas, and yeah, it's a start for sure. And I must say, there's some things there, despite the jankiness, that are definitely worthwhile. You see some instances of parallax graphics and stuff, like parallax scrolling, which is pretty cool. So, if anything, they were trying out some really cool ideas here, I think. And they were just having fun, and I think that's the most important part of it all. Yeah, this is on the attire links. Speaking of throwing things to the wall, this is research and development. This is where Inhuman, you know, devises his crazy ideas, and as you would have expected, this is a pretty crazy idea, or a pretty crazy level concept-wise. You got this tank riding indoors, by the way. Just I wanted to point it out. We'll mostly stick to these rings on the ceiling for safety, and also because we have to jump over a couple of pits. I keep mentioning them. So far, I have not fallen into any of them. I will probably show some off if nothing else happens. which would be really good, but you never know. And we got some more hot music. You have to make these jumps sometimes. They basically tell you in the manual that you sometimes have to take leaps of faith and good luck. That's pretty much what the manual tells you. Seeing that this is the Atari Lynx, that's probably true. Also, in this part, there are so-called super soldiers, which are hired to stop Gordo, and later on we also meet this massive monster, I think. So we might see an actual boss fight, or not. In the meantime, I've fallen down a pit, and this is what happens when you fall down a pit. You get into this dungeon, and you have to get out, or take a death. It's basically up to you. Sometimes it's easier to take a death because otherwise, you know, you won't have enough life. You have to restart the level that you were at anyway. The manual basically says, all respectable monkeys must stay above ground. So this is what they mean by that. Don't fall into pits and you'll probably be fine. Also, that fire is insta-kill. Gordo's dungeon, yep. Oh, oops, I fell. It's okay, we have enough life, so... yeah, death is pretty cruel in this game, as you can see. Gordo just gets burned to death, literally. And yeah, this running animation is really good. I love it so much, and you know, there's so many things about this game that I just find very charming in a way. Yeah, the battery usage of the Lynx is definitely a thing. Like, it does take quite a lot of batteries, and it's quite consuming that way. So when I did this for HTTQ, I made sure that I had backup batteries just to make sure that I wouldn't run out. Oh, by the way, here's the boss fight. Let's see. We're not going to see the boss fight because we just go to the exit. This is basically a full level skip. Normally you would see a monster, you'd have to switch it off and jump over it to get over that wall, but you know, we can do the work ourselves. So, yeah, moving on. It's going pretty fast, I know. We are into a penthouse. This is Inhuman's penthouse. This is the last level, and there's spiders, as you would have expected from the penthouse. Lots of Mona Lisas, and lots of dudes waving their shoes, I think? I don't know. They've got a pretty big hitbox, so I have to watch out for those. Ow. 2 to 4 hours, yeah, that sounds about right. I was always playing when I had a hardware Lynx, which I borrowed from someone. I usually played it powered, you know, without depending on the battery, so I always made sure to have that on at least. Let's see, where do we go from here? This is the way. We have to swing around a lot. If you look at the test of this, it does not do a whole lot of this swinging from ceiling objects that I do now, but it does do a lot of pretty precise jumps. And yeah, the test of this clocks in at roughly like 8 minutes or so, so that's pretty quick. Also, this exit is really obtuse. You have to sort of wrap around it, basically dashing and then keeping up the dash in order to make it across or make it underneath where you were standing. So yeah, it's a bit of a tough setup, but there are some safeties to help make it easier. Oh, I didn't mean to jump over that. Let's see if we can manage this. No. Let's see. Oh yeah, so we are in more dungeons. Okay, it's probably not worth trying this, but I can probably go through here and see what happens now. We fall pretty deep. It's surprising what they built in. That was funny. We had a run of this at Big Back Game-a-thon with dev commentary, which was really amazing. That happened last year, and yeah, they were really fond of their time with Gordo 106, and they basically were saying, oh yeah, these dungeons were basically made for variety and such, and yeah, just to add some extra spice, I guess. So yeah, I was rewatching that yesterday, and that was so much fun. But I'm also talking about some other stuff. You know, this would have had an SNES release, for instance. that never happened. But also, another team was going to work on the Genesis version without them knowing that. But the Genesis version also didn't happen. So yeah, that would have been interesting to see if how that would have worked out. Okay, I'm gonna go past here. We're almost at the end of this level. That laser show was following me. That was pretty rough. There we go. Alright. So now 6-3. This is the last level. We're finally gonna face off against Inhuman. And of course, it's the last level, so we go from right to left, as you would have expected. How many dungeon levels are there? The funny thing is they're officially labeled H1 through H8. And one of the levels is actually not a dungeon level, but it's basically a regular level where you can see cages and you can run to the exit. And that's by far the least punishing outcome of any of those pit drops. So yeah. Oh, this is Inhuman, by the way. We have to deal 6 hits. So gonna go here. Okay, that's it. Time stops as soon as the score count stops, and there we go. And now we have fireworks, yay! We can just walk around, and for some reason we saved some animals after all, even though you didn't see me do anything like that, but you know, that happens anyway. So yeah, that was a pretty decent time. I actually got a, I was practicing earlier today and I got my second sub 12 in Gordo 106 today, as a matter of fact. It was the first run of that particular stream. That was like a sub 12, it was so weird, but the times can be all over the place in that sense, so it's kind of interesting. But yeah, that's this run. I want to show off one more thing. There's one pit death that I haven't really talked about, and I kind of want to see if I can get it. And since I finished under estimate, you know, it's not going to take a long time to show off, and I'm just going to see if I can get it. Also, thank you for the GGs, everybody, much appreciated. But yeah, we're going to try from one pit death, or one pit specifically. People who have seen this before know what I'm talking about, but I want to see what's going to happen here. Ah, not quite. Okay, what would happen is, let's see, where do I have it? I think I have it over here. Brace yourselves. This one. So this is the worst pit of them all. You cannot escape from that. You will insta-burn to death, basically. No matter how fast you run or anything, you cannot get away from that. So yeah, that was... That's the cruelest death of them all. So yeah, that was what I wanted to show off. Hope you'll, yeah, instant death basically. Yeah, yeah. I hope you all enjoyed the Gordo 106. Thanks so much for watching this. Hold on. For those who want to watch, I think I'm gonna drop it in the chat. But for those who want to watch the commentated run that I was talking about with David Brevik, Max, and Eric Schaefer, here's that specific run. There's some more things they're talking about, and I can definitely recommend checking it out. All right. In the meantime, I'm gonna switch over to my next game, which is also gonna be a pre-gen game, which is called Hardhead. So stay tuned for that. I'll be back in a short while.